On Dragon Boat Festival, my husband asked me, the receptionist, to prepare gifts for employees and clients. I carefully prepared the gifts with great attention. However, his secretary, Chiyoue, publicly accused me of being thoughtless with the gifts and demanded that my husband fire me. I smiled at her gently and said, "Mr. Lin would never fire me." Chiyoue gave me a mocking glance and called my husband right in front of me, just as I was about to enjoy Chiyoue's embarrassment. My husband's cold and indifferent voice came through, "Such trivial matters. Chiyoue, you can decide for yourself." I was stunned. "Lin Fei, are you really going to fire me?" Everyone in the company stared at me in shock, never expecting me to address the CEO by his name directly. Chiyoue added with even more sarcasm, "Li Fei, you're just a front desk girl. If Manager Lin says you're fired, then you're fired. Why insist that he wouldn't fire you? Who do you think you are? Your position is completely unnecessary. All you do is slack off and take advantage of company purchases to pocket kickbacks. Who knows how much you've skimmed? I've put up with you for long enough. Getting Manager Lin to fire you today was already me being merciful." I didn't have time to dwell on the employees' stares or Chiyoue's taunts. All I wanted was Lin Fei's answer. I stared intently at Chiyoue's phone, waiting for Lin Fei's response. Lin Fei said impatiently, "Li Fei, was Chiyoue wrong? You slack off all day, either playing with your phone or binge-watching shows on your tablet during work hours. What benefits have you brought to the company? Someone as unambitious as you doesn't align with the company's development philosophy at all. Get out as soon as possible. Buying gifts and still taking kickbacks. You're really embarrassing me." After roaring out the last sentence, Lin Fei hung up the phone. Chiyoue twirled her phone and looked at me smugly. "Li Fei, pack your things and get out now. There's no place for you in Lin Group. With trash like you who can't even prepare gifts properly gone, the company can finally develop better." I looked at her coldly. "Do you know who I am?" A flicker of guilt flashed in Chiyoue's eyes, quickly replaced by disdain. "Who cares who you are? Even if you're Mrs. Lin. So what? Didn't Mr. Lin fire you himself? Besides, someone as insignificant as you, why struggle so desperately here? It's just pathetic." I curled my lips into a faint smile. "So you and President Lin think the same way?" Chiyoue sneered. "Isn't it obvious? Li Fei, you're not deluding yourself into thinking the company can't do without you, are you?" I declared firmly. "Exactly." Chiyoue burst into laughter. "Ha ha ha, you'd better stop daydreaming. The company will only get better without a troublemaker like you. Isn't that right, colleagues?" The employees didn't know my identity. Seeing me get fired by Lin Fei and then mocked by Chiyoue like this, they all took her side. "Secretary Zhong, you're absolutely right. Li Fei is just daydreaming. Lin Group is a listed company. This year our president Lin even made it into the Forbes Top 100 list. How could the company possibly depend on a mere receptionist like her? What a joke. I think Li Fei must be fantasizing all day about being President Lin's wife. That's why she's so full of herself. What a disgusting dreamer." Under the leadership of Chiyoue, I became the target of public criticism. The staff held no goodwill toward me and even urged me to leave quickly. Looking at these ignorant people, I felt a bit of anger, but more than that, helplessness. There was no pretense in my words just now. They were all sincere. The Lin Group couldn't do without me from the very beginning. Back when I was collecting rent, I suffered from heat stroke, and it was Lin Fei who saved me. At that time, he had just started his business and was short of everything. To show my gratitude, I joined his company and became the receptionist girl, but secretly lowered his rent for him, then asked my dad for connections and casually presented them to him. During that period, Lin Fei's business thrived smoothly, and he believed I brought him good luck, so he actively pursued me. I admired his ambition and agreed to his pursuit. After dating for a year, we got our marriage certificate. A year after marriage, Lin Fei achieved complete success in his entrepreneurial venture. After 3 years of development, the Lin Group soared to success, went public, and even became a leading enterprise in the country. To this day, at least 90% of the Lin Group's partners come from my father's connections and resources. It's no exaggeration to say that without me, this company would be finished. I just never expected that after the Lin Group was fully supported by my father's influence, Lin Fei would turn around and deny any connection. He actually told me to get out in front of so many employees, completely humiliating me, and he even had his secretary, Chiuyue, insult me like that. I didn't even need to confront him to know this was Lin Fei's doing. If Lin Fei hadn't given the signal, Chiuyue would never have dared to be so disrespectful to me, the CEO's wife. After all, judging from Chiuyue's reaction just now, she clearly knows my identity. Knowing my identity and still doing this, Lin Fei must be the mastermind behind it. Everything he has today is because of me, and this is how he treats me after achieving success. I can't swallow this bitter pill. Just as the Lin Group rose, I'll make it fall in the same way. I picked up my phone and was about to leave, but Chiuyue stopped me. Li Fei, you think you can leave without explaining things clearly? I frowned. What do I need to explain? Chiuyue said forcefully, you're the receptionist. You're the first to greet the company's executives and important visitors. Shouldn't you keep their contact information? I sneered. It's all recorded in the notebook. You can check it yourself. Chiuyue crossed her arms and said mockingly, Li Fei, you can leave now if you want. Just take off that gray suit dress you're wearing, and I won't make things difficult for you. Do you dare to take it off? Making a woman take off her clothes in public. It's quite something that Chiuyue could come up with such an idea. I stared at her coldly, unmoving, but many of the male employees in the company started whistling and even egged her on, saying, Fei, go ahead and take it off. You're so pretty. Consider it a farewell gift for us. Yeah, Fei, we just want to look. Once you're gone, we won't get to see such a beautiful receptionist anymore. The words of these male employees made me sick. I clenched my back teeth, staring at them coldly, memorizing their faces in my mind. Once I leave, they'll be the first to regret it. I questioned Chiuyue coldly. Was taking off the work skirt also Lin Fei's idea? Chiuyue answered without hesitation. President Lin said that when you're kicked out, you can't take a single thing that belongs to the company. You have to take off that suit skirt. It's company-issued work attire. At this point, Chiuyue even let out a delicate laugh. Li Fei, I'm already being merciful with you. To accommodate you, I didn't even make you write down your contact information. Now, as long as you take off what belongs to the company, I'll let you go. You'd better appreciate this opportunity. I looked at her coldly. Do you really want a woman to undress in public? Chiuyue smirked maliciously. Is there a problem? Of course there's a problem, I replied coldly, retreating to my workstation and sitting down. Chiuyue glared at me angrily. Li Fei, what are you doing? You're already fired, I said with a half smile. Only a fool would listen to you and strip in public. She gritted her teeth and said viciously, you don't have a choice. If you won't take it off, I'll help you do it. You dare? I glared at her, my voice low but full of authority. The employees who were just chattering away immediately fell silent. Even Chiuyue was momentarily stunned, but she quickly regained her composure and, in a fit of anger, said, Li Fei, don't push your luck. Get out of the company right now. I sneered. It's easier to invite the devil than to send him away. I don't want to leave so easily now. Chiuyue clearly understood what I meant. She gritted her teeth and asked me, Li Fei, what will it take for you to leave? I replied cheerfully. Unless you kneel down, apologize, and beg me, then I'll leave the company. You're dreaming. Chiuyue shouted at me. I spread my hands and said indifferently, Oh Tilda, then I won't leave. It's up to you. The employees looked at me in shock, never expecting that even after being fired, I could still be so audacious. For a moment, they didn't dare to speak up for Chiuyue anymore, afraid that I might actually have some powerful connections. Chiuyue refused to believe it and said fiercely, Li Fei, just you wait. I'm calling President Lin right now. Lin Fei's voice came through again. Chiuyue, what's wrong? Chiuyue sobbed. President Lin, Li Fei bullied me. Lin Fei comforted her with concern and heartache. Chiuyue, you can do whatever you want to Li Fei. Don't be afraid. I'm already on my way back. Chiuyue sniffled and said coyly, Mr. Lin, I'll be waiting for you to come back. She hung up the phone shyly, then raised her eyebrows triumphantly in front of me. I just felt my heart grow cold. So, Lin Fei had already cheated on me with his secretary. Today's incident was deliberately meant to embarrass me. The employees, seeing Chuyue's shy demeanor, were instantly shocked. Secretary Zhong, you've hidden it well, so you're actually the CEO's wife. Oh my, this is too blissful, commuting to and from work with President Lin every day. What a fairy tale romance. While they were praising the love between Qiu Yu and Lin Fei, they started to criticize me again. Li Feifei, I really don't mean to be harsh, but being a disgusting fangirl is one thing. How dare you still act defiant in front of the CEO's wife? Who do you think you are? You'd better wise up and leave now. I ignored all these words, as I was busy gathering people. How dare you bully me? Don't you know who I am? Lin Fei is back, just in time to deal with you together. Chuyue saw my silence and spoke with a haughty tone. Li Feifei, not to be harsh, but how can you still play with your phone at a time like this? Don't tell me you're still fantasizing that President Lin is your husband. I'll have you know, President Lin personally told me that you, the little receptionist, are a worthless good-for-nothing, a worthless good-for-nothing. So this is how Lin Fei truly sees me. Many uninformed employees joined Chuyue in mocking me, telling me to know my place. I smiled and nodded. I really should recognize my place. With that, I pulled out my and Lin Fei's marriage certificate from the bag in my desk drawer and tossed it out. The employees were puzzled, but Chuyue was utterly shocked, guilt-ridden. She roared at me in anger. Li Feifei, you brought your marriage certificate to work, and you're showing it to us. We're not in the mood to see it. My smile widened as I replied casually, oh, I was actually planning to use the marriage certificate for something today, but I didn't expect this little scene to happen. While answering her, I glanced at the extremely curious employees and said, go ahead, take a look. The bolder employees had already picked up the marriage certificate, opened her eyes wide in shock and looked at me. Li Feifei, you're actually the real CEO's wife. Oh my god, if Li Feifei is the CEO's wife, then what about President Lin and Chuyue? The employees found themselves in the middle of a major gossip scene, their gazes shifting back and forth between me and Chuyue. Chuyue's face darkened for a long while before she finally composed herself amidst the employees' gossip. President Lin has no feelings for that good-for-nothing anyway. In love, the one who isn't loved is the real third party. She was indeed the CEO's wife before, but she won't be for long. President Lin has long been preparing to divorce her. Her 3 sentences instantly lifted the spirits of the previously fearful employees, making them feel I deserved it. Exactly, Li Feifei, a useless receptionist girl, was never worthy of President Lin in the first place. Only Qiu Yu, the daughter of the Zhong Group, is a match for our talented and handsome President Lin. Li Feifei, if you know what's good for you, pack your things and get out now, before President Lin arrives and things get embarrassing. These people speaking are the core members who worked with Lin Fei when he started his business, and they used to be quite polite to me. Unexpectedly, after learning my identity, they unhesitatingly sided with Zhong Chuyue. Truly, like boss, like subordinates, the people I called are already on their way, and I'm eager to see what other absurdities this massive Lin group has in store, especially Lin Fei. He owes me an explanation. Zhong Chuyue also seemed to want me to suffer a setback in front of Lin Fei, looking down at me condescendingly without urging me to leave. I continued playing with my phone, feeling in high spirits as I watched my dad keep sending me messages. At that moment, Lin Fei appeared with 8 bodyguards. He frowned, gave me a cold and fierce glance, then quickly walked over to Zhong Chuyue's side. Chuyue, are you okay? Did she upset you? Zhong Chuyue pouted pitifully and cooed, Fei. She wouldn't listen to me and even mocked me. I just asked her to return the company property, but she refused to leave the company. I think she can't bear to part with her position as the CEO's wife and wants to keep embarrassing you. Lin Fei immediately glared at me angrily and said impatiently, Li Feifei, I thought you were sensible and understanding, but I never expected you to be so vain. If I hadn't been forced into a corner back then, I would never have married you. Do you know why I only got a marriage certificate with you? I said coldly. Go on, because during that time I needed to marry a woman born in the year of the rabbit to ward off disaster. Turns out, marrying me was just to shield him from misfortune. That's why in our 3 years of marriage, he never shared a bed with me. At first, I thought he might have health issues, but after testing the waters a few times, I realized there was nothing wrong with him physically. Later, he earnestly told me that since we hadn't held the wedding ceremony yet and he hadn't formally introduced me to his family and friends, he would wait until the wedding day to touch me. I felt he respected me deeply, which made me even more satisfied with him. Secretly, I asked my father to provide him with more connections and resources. Little did I know, I was merely his tool to ward off misfortune. 3 years of marriage. I once had feelings for him. Now, knowing the truth behind our marriage, a faint pang of pain flickers in my heart, but it's negligible. So, you really want to divorce me? Lin Fei held Zhong Chua and said arrogantly, a country girl like you isn't worthy of me. The only reason we got married was because you were the only woman born in the year of the rabbit around me. You've shielded me from misfortune for 3 years. After the divorce, I'll give you some compensation, but don't expect anything more. I was even more arrogant than him. Lin Fei, you really dare to say that? Without me, you're nothing. He scoffed lightly. Li Feifei, you really think highly of yourself. Without you, I'd only climb higher. Qiu Yu is the heiress of the Zhong Group. After marriage, I can expand into the overseas market. As for you, go wherever village suits you best. I gave Zhong Qiu Yu a meaningful glance and asked Lin Fei, so you're divorcing me for the heiress of the Zhong Group? He said coldly. Any problem? I smiled and replied, no problem, just don't cry later. Lin Fei curled his lips at me disdainfully, thinking I was talking nonsense, but I never like to talk nonsense. Our family is a locally renowned landlord household. 60% of the land and buildings in this area belong to our family. Even the office building currently used by the Lin Group belongs to our family. Many businesses have dealings with our family, the so-called impressive Zhong Group that Lin Fei bragged about. I've met Chairman Zhong when collecting rent. Chairman Zhong does indeed have a daughter, but she's currently studying management in the UK. This suddenly appearing heiress, Zhong Chuyue, is either an illegitimate child or someone impersonating the Zhong Group's heiress. Yet Lin Fei thinks he's struck gold, still dreaming of expanding into foreign markets, with his current net worth. He can barely afford to buy this prime office building, but our family owns hundreds of such buildings. Moreover, the most prestigious location in this prime office building currently leased by Lin Group is a perk I granted him. I rented it to him at a low price, but he didn't feel grateful at the time. Thinking the landlord was trying to befriend him, I didn't expose it. After all, I'm his wife, and it's only right to give him some benefits, but my kindness was wasted on him. I'm really looking forward to his reaction when he finds out the truth. Zhong Chuyue looked at me with an air of arrogance. Li Feifei, if you know what's good for you, take off your uniform and leave now, or don't blame me for being rude to you. Lin Fei chimed in as well. Li Feifei, Chuyue's words are mine too. Hurry up and take off the company property. I stared at them coldly, so eager to see me take off my clothes. Are you? Lin Fei and Zhong Chuyue wore identical mocking expressions, clearly not taking this front desk girl seriously at all. This is absolutely intolerable. I abruptly stood up from my workstation and flung the documents on the desk directly at Lin Fei and Zhong Chuyue. If you're so eager to see someone strip, why don't you do it yourselves? Daring to tell me to take off my clothes? Who the hell do you think you are? Lin Fei, you and Zhong Chuyue are nothing but a shameless pair. The divorce papers aren't even finalized yet. And you're already trying to humiliate me. Who gave you the nerve? As I spoke, I hurled objects at them. The two screamed in shock, calling me a vicious woman. I couldn't care less. If I don't unleash my fury now, I'm afraid this despicable couple will give me a tumor from sheer rage. Unfortunately, the items on the table were limited, and the last potted plant I threw missed Lin Fei and his group. It was caught by his bodyguard instead. Li Feifei, you're being so unreasonable. Don't even think about getting any compensation after the divorce. Li Feifei, I'll tell my father, and you won't be able to take a single step in Guang City. Just wait to beg on the streets. I scoffed dismissively. Lin Fei, the compensation you're offering is beneath my notice. Zhong Chuyue, if you end up begging on the streets in the future, blame your own venomous tongue. The employees were stunned, their jaws dropping in shock. They never expected that even after Lin Fei arrived and Zhong Chua's identity was exposed, I could still be so audacious. Of course I can be audacious. Because my backup has arrived, Lin Fei. I never expected you to be this kind of person. Tongfei Technology is severing all cooperation with you. A middle-aged man in a black suit angrily shouted at Lin Fei. Lin Fei was shocked but didn't take the visitor seriously. President Liu. I'm about to become the son-in-law of the Zhong Group in Guangqing. Cutting ties with me now isn't a wise move, President Liu replied disdainfully. What's so great about the Zhong Group? The Zhong Group is one of the 4 major families in Guangqing, and you dare to disrespect them. That pathetic little company of yours is no match for the Zhong Group. President Liu scoffed coldly. My company has survived this long without relying on the Zhong Group, kid. You've picked the wrong person to mess with. With that, he strode up to me, ignoring Lin Fei's stunned and contemplative expression. Niece Fei, you've been wronged. Uncle Liu will definitely get justice for you. You old fool, showing up just to cut off cooperation. It should be me, Bai Yuelian. Standing up for niece Fei, Aunt Bai strode over to me with swift steps and delivered a whip kick towards Lin Fei. She sent Lin Fei sprawling to the ground with a single kick. Zhong Chua exclaimed in shock. President Bai, how could you hit President Lin? You two are supposed to be the best business partners. Aren't you afraid our Lin Group will cancel the partnership? Aunt Bai looked at her disdainfully. Noisy, the Bai Group has no shameful partners like this. The next second, 2 loud slaps landed directly on Zhong Chua's face. Fei, Aunt Bai is late, making you suffer this injustice. I shook my head. Aunt Bai, now that you're here, I don't feel wronged at all. Zhong Chua covered her face in disbelief. President Bai, you're confused. The Lin Group is about to collaborate with the Zhong Group to expand into overseas markets. Isn't that also your company's development direction? Aunt Bai chuckled lightly. That's not a bad idea, but unfortunately, I don't work with dogs. With that, Aunt Bai took my hand to comfort me. Gradually, more company executives and important figures arrived. These executives and big shots were all connections my father secretly handed over to Lin Fei, having them provide resources to him. Most of these people watched me grow up, and the buildings and land where they opened their companies and factories belonged to my family. They usually treated me like a little prince, pampering and indulging me, hoping I'd be happy enough to reduce their rent. But I'm a polite person and never like taking advantage of them. Now that I've called for backup, none of them wanted to miss this chance to prove themselves. They all sprang into action, standing firmly on my side, denouncing Lin Fei, and voluntarily cutting off all cooperation with the Lin Group. Employees who had previously sided with Lin Fei and Zhong Chua looked at me in terror. With so many executives and big shots backing me, even a fool could tell my identity wasn't simple. They all began apologizing to me. Fei, I was wrong before. I shouldn't have run my mouth. Please be magnanimous and forgive me. Let me off the hook. Fei, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Fei, I can't lose this job. Please forgive me. Many employees apologized to me. Lin Fei's face darkened as he glared fiercely at those employees, stubbornly speaking up. Li Fei, I was wrong before. You're not useless. You're a traitor. You actually went behind my back to cozy up to these partners and had them cut ties with the company. Did you think I wouldn't divorce you over this? Keep dreaming. All these partners combined can't even compare to the Zhong Group. Zhong Chua, who had been covering her face, straightened her back and declared righteously, "That's right. With just one word from my father, he can secure hundreds of orders for the Lin Group." Li Fei, did you really think you could threaten us with this? I clapped lightly and chuckled. Well then, let's see who gets the last laugh. Both of them stiffened their necks, thinking I was talking nonsense. Just then, my dad showed up. He was wearing a logo-less short-sleeved shirt, floral shorts, and flip-flops. Perhaps he had rushed over in a hurry, as he was drenched in sweat. This appearance really doesn't look like someone here to back me up, yet I feel incredibly at ease. Lin Fei and Zhong Chua, you couldn't help but burst into laughter. Lin Fei mocked. Li Fei, if you're looking for someone to back you up, at least find someone decent, won't you? Those small company bosses and big shots posed a slight threat to me before, but this sweaty, unknown uncle, I wouldn't even bat an eye, Zhong Chua said sarcastically. What's that smell on this uncle? The office air is getting polluted. Their words made the uncles and aunties who came to support me widen their eyes in shock. They looked at Lin Fei and Zhong Chua as if they were idiots. Do you even know who Boss Li is? How dare you speak to him like that? Do you know who owns this building your company is in? How dare you speak so shamelessly? Truly, the longer you live, the more fools you see. These days, all kinds of idiots come to ruin your day. The words from these uncles and aunts didn't alert Lin Fei. Instead, he arrogantly said, "Oh, so you're the landlord offering me cheap rent, trying to cozy up to me." My father glared at him coldly and fiercely, then kicked him hard. "I'll beat your dead head, you trash. Dare to bully my daughter. I'll beat you to death." Dad's love was in every word and action criticizing Lin Fei. The corners of my mouth turned up as I walked over to him with a smile and linked my arm with his. "Dad, it's so good to have you." My dad chuckled and said, "Fei Fei, you're my daughter, you can do whatever you want. I just hope you're happy and carefree every day. That trash dared to cheat on you and humiliate you. Dad will definitely get revenge for you." I nodded with a smile and directly complained to my dad, "Dad, they're making me take off my clothes, or else they won't let me leave, and those male employees just now even encouraged me to take off my clothes, saying it was a farewell gift." I pointed at the male employee who had bullied me earlier, and my dad immediately rushed forward. The uncles and aunts who came to back me up also charged over. A group of people beat up the bully fiercely and declared, "From now on, there will be no place for you in Guangqing." While being beaten, Lin Fei carefully shielded Zhong Chua in his arms. After my dad and the others stopped, Lin Fei, bruised and battered, was still gritting his teeth and making threats. "I've already called President Zhong from the Zhong group. Just wait. You'll get what's coming to you." "That's right. My dad will never let you thugs off the hook," I sneered in response. What a coincidence. I also called President Zhong. Let's see which side he takes. Lin Fei and Zhong Chua glared at me resentfully and said in unison, "President Zhong will definitely be on my side. My dad will definitely be on my side." My father sneered disdainfully. "Then let's wait and see. It's a question of whether Xiao Zhong wants the company or you." His unknown daughter. Zhong Chua turned pale with fear at my father's words. Lin Fei asked with concern, "Chua, what's wrong? Are you okay?" Zhong Chua shook her head and whispered, "I'm fine. I just thought that if my dad finds out about their nonsense, he'll be furious and definitely won't let them off easy." Lin Fei replied smugly, "Why bother about them? Even if they don't get off easy, it's their own fault. I think the ones who won't get off easy are the two of you, Mr." Zhong's panting voice sounded from the elevator entrance. Lin Fei was shocked. "President Zhong? What do you mean by that?" Zhong Chua protested. "Dad, how can you say that? I'm your daughter." President Zhong rushed up to us, bowing and scraping as he greeted my father. "Boss Li, it's all my fault for failing to educate my daughter properly. I've caused you trouble." My dad snorted coldly. "Trouble isn't quite the word, it's just that my Fei Fei was bullied, Mr. Zhong immediately declared, "Boss Li, don't worry, I'll deal with them. I guarantee you'll be satisfied." With that, without waiting for my dad's response, Mr. Zhong dragged Zhong Chua in front of me and forced her to kneel and apologize. Zhong Chua was baffled. "Dad, I'm your daughter. You're making me kneel and apologize to a mere receptionist. Do you still have a place in your heart for me, your daughter?" Boss Zhong roared, "Shut up, you're just an illegitimate child. I don't give a damn about you." As he spoke, he delivered a harsh slap across Zhong Chua's face. "How could I possibly have a daughter like you? From now on, you're no longer part of the Zhong family. You and your mother have nothing to do with my Zhong family anymore." Even after being hit by Mr. Zhong, Zhong Chua still felt indignant. Thinking that Mr. Zhong couldn't distinguish between close and distant relatives, hearing Mr. Zhong say he wanted to sever ties, Zhong Chua panicked. "Dad, I was wrong. I'll apologize to Li Fei Fei right now." She suddenly knelt before me, kowtowing to apologize. "Miss Li, I'm sorry, it was all my fault just now, but I only treated you that way because I listened to Lin Fei's words. We're both women. I didn't want to do that. Please forgive me." Lin Fei's face darkened the moment Director Zhong appeared. Watching Zhong Chu kneel before me to apologize, terror flashed in his eyes. When I came to my senses, I heard Zhong Chu unhesitatingly shift all the blame onto him. He immediately retorted angrily, "Those things were all thought up by you, you vicious woman. What does it have to do with me? You even claimed to be Director Zhong's most beloved daughter before, you liar." Lin Fei mercilessly accused Zhong Qiuyu and, in a fit of rage, kicked her twice in the stomach. Director Zhong felt a pang of sympathy for Zhong Qiuyu but did not intervene. Now, he just wants to calm me and my dad down, so he also joined in scolding and hitting Zhong Qiuyu. Zhong Qiuyu cried and begged for mercy while loudly questioning, "Dad, I accept that you hit me, but I want to die knowing the truth. What exactly is Li Feifei's identity, Mr.?" Zhong took a deep breath and whispered, "She is the daughter of Boss Li, the real estate king of Guangxing. Over 60% of the land and buildings in this area of Guangxing belong to their family." A single sentence instantly silenced Zhong Qiuyu. She looked at me in horror, her eyes filled with regret, and her apology seemed genuinely sincere this time. But who cared about her now? I ignored her, and Lin Fei beat her even harder. She clutched her stomach, wailing, "Lin Fei, save our child." Her blue dress was soaked in blood, her face pale, her whole body trembling. Mr. Zhong looked pained, but afraid that my father and I were still angry. He cautiously watched us. I just called emergency services under my dad's watchful gaze. Settling scores is important, no doubt, but human life is paramount. You can always settle the score with them later. There's no rush right now. My dad thought the same way and waved at Mr. Zhong, saying, "Feifei has already called for an ambulance. Hurry and take your daughter to the hospital." Mr. Zhong looked at us gratefully, bowed deeply, and kicked Lin Fei, "Hurry up and carry my daughter to the hospital." However, Lin Fei said righteously, "Mr. Zhong, I'm Li Feifei's husband. What would it look like if I carried your daughter to the hospital? You'd better carry your daughter quickly, lest she dies on the way." Mr. Zhong was so angry that his eyes widened, and he pointed at Lin Fei with trembling fingers. But worried about Zhong Qiuyu, he carried her away. Zhong Qiuyu was in so much pain she nearly fainted, but Lin Fei's words snapped her back to consciousness. She laughed bitterly and shouted at Lin Fei, "Lin Fei, may you die a horrible death. I curse you to lose everything." With that, she fainted. Mr. Zhong apologized and hurriedly left with Zhong Qiuyu, yet Lin Fei shamelessly walked up to me. "Honey, I'm sorry, I was completely out of my mind before. Will you forgive me? I promise I'll never cheat again. I'll be devoted only to you, okay, darling? Marriage isn't easy. We've been married for 3 years. Let's not get divorced, okay?" Lin Fei apologized to me tenderly, coaxing me gently. His every question asked with careful hesitation. I just find it amusing. He certainly didn't have this kind of attitude when he said I was worthless before. Seeing him like this now really makes me feel like I was blind 3 years ago. How could I ever have set my eyes on such a man? Pure trash. I spoke coldly. "Lin Fei, the matter of divorce is not up to you. Your current behavior is truly disgusting. I don't have a husband like you, really not worth showing off." Lin Fei, however, refused to let go. He knelt heavily before me, clutching my calf, pleading with sorrowful desperation. "Feifei, I was wrong before. Hit me if you want, okay? I just made the same mistake that all men in the world make. Your family is so wealthy. Your father must have many mistresses. Why do you have to be so angry with me?" I was truly infuriated by Lin Fei's shamelessness. I kicked him hard and said solemnly, "Lin Fei, only a man like you would think that everyone who succeeds would become just like you. My father has always been upright and faithful, with only my mother his entire life. You were the one who made mistakes, you were the one who looked down on me, and now that you know my true identity, you're the one begging me. Especially when you're asking me so shamelessly, do you really think I love you that much? I just thought you were good-looking, a top graduate, and from a poor family. Perfect for having a child without keeping the father around. Too bad you married me just to ward off your own misfortune, never giving me the chance to keep the child and ditch the father. That's why this marriage lasted only 3 years." Lin Fei's eyes widened at my words. his body swaying unsteadily as he pointed at me with his right hand. Speechless for a long moment, I smiled faintly and said, "Lin Fei, autumn has arrived, and it's time for the Lin group to fall." Lin Fei was so enraged by these words that he vomited blood and fainted on the spot. No one wanted to deal with such a hot potato. My father spoke authoritatively to the employees. "Tell your CEO that I'm giving your company 3 days to move out. If you can't move it, don't blame me for taking these things to the scrapyard with my crew." Our group left in a grand procession. I followed my dad back to the village, lazily lounging on a custom-made leather sofa, enjoying air-flown kiwis. Feeling utterly content, the Lin group moved out within 3 days, but they could no longer rent suitable office space. Any property in the nearby area would absolutely refuse to lease to them the moment they heard the name Lin Group. A company that lost 90% of its partners and had no fixed office address was forced to shut down in less than a month. To pay the employees' salaries, Lin Fei considered selling his villa and luxury car. However, no one was willing to buy his assets. He thought about hiring a lawyer to sue those partners for breach of contract damages, but his business partners had included a special clause in the contract, written in very small print. If Lin Fei offended his wife, the partners could terminate the contract without paying any penalty. At that time, Lin Fei thought everything was going smoothly for him. To save money, he didn't want to hire a lawyer and only skimmed the contract before signing it. Now, as he consults a lawyer to file a lawsuit, he realizes what he missed. He regretted his past actions and went around asking about me, wanting to make amends. Unfortunately, I was being dragged around by my dad to meet potential partners. Dad said that once I got my divorce certificate, I should immediately find someone to marry. Without any delay, the people my dad found for me were either tall, rich, and handsome, or came from families like ours who owned large rental properties. My dad's thoughtful gesture. So I went along. I actually took a liking to someone. Tall, handsome, a real looker. I had a crush on him and wanted to ask his name, but he accused me first. "Li Feifei, you don't recognize me. Should I know you? You said when you were little that you'd marry me when you grew up." The handsome guy continued to accuse me. Childhood memories came flooding back. And I looked at him in surprise. "Your brother Xian." He smiled at me and gently patted my head. "Li Feifei, this time you can't deny it." Our marriage was quickly settled by both families. On the day of the divorce hearing, I saw Lin Fei. It had been 2 months since we last met. His clothes were wrinkled, unkempt, and he looked haggard and exhausted. When he saw me, he rushed over anxiously. "Feifei, can we not get divorced? I regret it. As long as you don't divorce me, I'll listen to you from now on. Please give me a chance." Before I could speak, Xian, standing beside me, pulled me into his arms. "I'm sorry, Feifei is my future wife. You're already out of the game." He looked at me, helpless and angry. I gave him a cold glance and waited for the judge's announcement. The divorce went smoothly, and the judge announced the ruling in court. From then on, Lin Fei and I were no longer related. Later, on the day of my wedding with brother Xian, I saw Lin Fei again. He was begging on the street, and when he saw my wedding procession, he chased after our car, crying. And the woman he cheated with, Zhong Chuiyue, on the day Mr. Zhong took her to the hospital, voluntarily requested to abort the child. After recovering her health, Zhong Chuiyue was forcibly sent to the countryside, and the wealthy circles of Guangcheng had nothing more to do with her. As for me and brother Xian, we will only grow happier and happier. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.